Aloha! Today I'm going to give you a map tour of the great beach town called Haleiwa on the north shore of Oahu. And thanks for meeting me here on my laptop because we're going to do a Zoom tour on Google Maps. We're not in our typical studio setting here, so appreciate that. But speaking of which, this is a map tour and we'll give you a big overview of Haleiwa town, and I'll show you some points of interest, the 3 different ways how to get there when you're driving around. If you want to take a deep dive into the pros and cons, we actually have a pros and cons video of Haleiwa, and we also have a separate video which is a vlog tour, which is me driving around town, shooting a bunch of cool video footage, and even taking a tour of a couple great properties there. So you can get an idea of what you can expect to buy and different price points in this awesome town. Welcome to Home Sweet Home Hawaii, our YouTube channel. My name is Chris Shomo, real estate agent and owner and founder of Home Sweet Home Hawaii, brokered by eXp Realty. Thanks for joining, and let's dive right in. So I want to give you first an overview of where Haleiwa is in relation to the whole map of the island of Oahu. And here we have what we call the North Shore, and this is where Haleiwa is. And then the west side of the island, what we call the leeward side, is where you're going to find Ewa Beach and Kapolei and Waianae. And then you have the east side of the island, what we call the windward side, and this is where you're going to see Kailua and Kaneohe. And then you've got the south part of the island, or what we call the southeast part of the island, which is where you're going to find Honolulu and Waikiki, and also this is where Diamond Head is, and Hawaii Kai. Now what we'll do is we'll focus on Haleiwa right up here. So we have the actual town of Haleiwa, and we have the zip code of Haleiwa town, which is 96712. Well, before I get into the town of Haleiwa, let me show you how to get there. So first, looking at the map here, you can see, and it is, just so you know, for reference, it's 5:30 in the evening. And so you can see how from the airport to Haleiwa, it's an hour drive, and it can be longer if there's traffic, right? But typically during the day with no traffic, it's about a 30 to 35 minute drive from the airport to Haleiwa. There are 3 ways to get to Haleiwa. So if you're driving from town or from the airport, you would take the H1 to the H2 and go straight north here, and around Schofield Barracks. If you're in the military, you'll recognize the name Schofield Barracks and Wheeler Army Airfield. This is all here. When you drive through Mililani and Wahiawa, you run right into Schofield Barracks. And then there are 2 ways to get to Haleiwa. And you've got the west side of Haleiwa, which is just to the right of Waialua, or you can come in through the east side here off the 99 km highway. I'm going to see if I can scroll in more. So if you're coming up from the town side or from the airport, like I mentioned, you're going to be driving up the H1 to the H2 all the way up, and when you hit this area right here, you fork off and you can go this way into the west side of Haleiwa town, or you can merge right here onto the 99 the km highway. So that's if you're driving into town. If you're driving from the west side, say Kapolei or Ewa Beach, and you live in that area on the leeward side, you're going to be driving up Kunia Drive the whole way up this way. Then the third option, which is a longer route obviously, is coming from the windward side all the way up the km highway, all the way and down, and approaching the east side of Haleiwa. For all intents and purposes, you're usually going to be driving from the center of the island, and you can either go merging left towards Waialua, And this would be the 803 to Wilikina Drive to Kaukonahua Road, all the way up Kaukonahua Road. And then you're going to enter in the west side of Haleiwa town. Otherwise, you're going to fork right around Schofield Barracks all the way up to 99, which is the Cam Highway, what we call the Kamehameha Highway. And Cam Highway is basically a main single lane highway all the way around, goes up to the northern tip of the island, and then circles all the way around down the windward side, back through Kaneohe. And what I'll do too is I'll zoom in on the street view so you can get an idea of what it looks like when you approach into town, into Haleiwa, as well as just driving down these routes, whether it's the 803 Wilikina Drive and Kaukonahua Road and the 99. So here we are with an overview of Haleiwa on the North Shore. So just to give you an idea, there is Haleiwa town right here. And then you have the zip code of Haleiwa, which is actually 96712, which covers this span. So it's about 9 miles, 9 or 10 miles, all through here on the North Shore. And if you're a home buyer and you're shopping for homes in Haleiwa, you're gonna have basically 7 major neighborhoods. And within those neighborhoods, you'll have micro neighborhoods. And so Haleiwa town is one of the larger neighborhoods, and you have here Waialua, which is a really famous small quaint beach town, but that's actually the neighboring town. It's not part of Haleiwa. And of course you have Mokulei here to the west. But you have Haleiwa town, so Haleiwa is a large neighborhood. And then as you go northeast bound, you're going to have Kawailoa North, and then you're going to have Waimea here, and then you're going to run into Pupukea. Then you're going to have 2 neighborhoods in Sunset area. You're going to have Sunset Beach, and then you're going to have Sunset Belsey. And within this stretch of 9 miles, you've got this 7-mile stretch here, which is a world famous strip for world-class surfing, and it goes from, which lists the rock piles, off the wall, back door, Bonsai Pipeline, Ehukai Sandbar, and Rocky Point, all through here. And if you want more information and more details on all these neighborhoods and the beaches, we have a pros and cons video of Haleiwa, as well as a vlog tour. And in this vlog tour, we actually tour 3 different homes in 3 different neighborhoods. They give you an idea, to give you a feel of what you can buy and what price points in the North Shore. Of course, there's something that I haven't covered in this map tour that you might have some questions of. Feel free to write your questions in the comment section below. We do check our comments, and you can of course give me a call or just shoot me a text or email me. So going back to the drive from town into Haleiwa, it's mostly highway, right, on the H2, but then you have the main roads. But as you drive through, once you cross through Schofield Barracks, when you drive through these roads here, whether it's Kaukonahua and the 803 to the 99 Kamehameha Highway, or if you're going up Wilikina Drive, it's all ag land through here. It's all agricultural, so it's really scenic. You're driving through acres and acres of green space. You have the Dole Plantation to your right here, going up the Cam Highway, and this is a tourist spot, you know, but you don't run into like heavy traffic or anything. But just, you know, beware, it's still a tourist spot. And it's all pretty much country road through here. Like really, this is the drive. You know, here you are in the 803. And you are literally just cruising through this good old agriculture, country roads with the ocean in the background, coastal views in the background. It's really charming. Now it is single lane, so remember that. So if it's a holiday, or you know, if there's an accident or there's rush hour, you know, you can get into some traffic. But there's not a whole lot of traffic on the 803. So for example, if you work at Schofield and you live in Waialua or Haleiwa, you're not really going to hit a whole lot of traffic on this lane, but where you do hit traffic is when you're actually in town, specifically on the weekends and on holidays. And I mean, it's crazy. It's back to back because of all the tourism. But that's when you get into town specifically, and we'll take you there. I'll take you there in a bit. So I want to show you, as you drive up Kaukanahua Road, like I said, in the background, you have the coastal views there. So as you're driving up north, on the left, you have the Waianae Mountains and the ocean in the front, and the coastal views up front. So it's a really beautiful scenic drive. So as you approach the west side of Haleiwa, you're basically right now we're going up Kamehameha. And you come to the first loop here. So this is where you enter for the west side of Haleiwa town. You can see here where it's right for Haleiwa or left for Waialua. And so now you're entering in the west side entrance of Haleiwa town. And what's really cool about Haleiwa is that the architecture and structures, they keep the same architecture as if they were built in the 30s or 40s. So you don't have any high-rises here in town. I believe the tallest buildings are only 2 stories high, but they're keeping with the theme of the plantation style buildings throughout. So even the McDonald's doesn't have golden arches. Welcome to historic Haleiwa town. So again, this is the entrance from the west side. So as you drive through, you're first greeted by a Starbucks cafe. And there are 2 small gas stations to the right. And one of our favorite taco spots on the whole island is Killer Tacos. You've got Killer Tacos and an ukulele shop right there. And then as you continue to drive up north, you're going to go through a couple areas of shrimp trucks. Jenny's Shrimp Truck, Giovanni's Shrimp Truck is very famous, very popular, huge tourist spot. As you can see, it's got 8,900 reviews. There are a couple of Giovanni's Shrimp Trucks. There's one right here in Haleiwa. Of course, there's one on the Turtle Bay side, Kahulu area. But then, remember I mentioned the McDonald's that doesn't have the golden arches? This is the McDonald's in Haleiwa town. And keeping with the historic architecture of the town. So before you hit McDonald's on the left, to the right is the lot with all the food trucks. Again, I know this isn't a tourism video, but there's something to keep in mind. If you're living here, you'll have to contend with traffic here from the tourists, because Haleiwa is a tourist mecca. So there's McDonald's on the left. As you continue to drive northeast, you have Cafe Haleiwa here. You have a Celestial Natural Foods. It's kind of like an old school Whole Foods market, if you will, and they also sell vitamins and supplements. And here's their post office here on the left. Now, one spot I really want to point out here is Farm to Barn Cafe and Juicery. So this is one of our favorite spots as well. This is where you're going to find just amazing food. So it's all grass-fed beef. You've got fresh fruit and vegetables. So it's great for brunch and lunch. But I just really recommend coming here. It also has one of the best acai bowls on the island. But we love stopping here whenever we're in Haleiwa. Okay, so we just passed Farm to Barn. If you go up a little further, as you continue to go north, you're going to run into the large outdoor market area, a mall if you will, of Haleiwa, where you're going to see a ton of restaurants and boutiques. You've got your Patagonia clothing store here. You also have your Soho Living boutique store, coffee gallery. So we've got tons of restaurants in here, and You do have the marina here to the left. I'll show you an overview of the marina there. As you continue to drive up, you've got all the boutique shops and art galleries to the left here. So again, you're in close proximity when you're living in Haleiwa in the North Shore. Of course, you're in close proximity to all these boutique shops and several restaurants. But keep in mind, there are only 2 grocery stores on the North Shore. You've got your Ace Hardware store here. So there are literally only 2 grocery stores on the North Shore. And apart from, you've got Celestial Natural Foods, which is a small grocery store, but the 2 main grocery stores on the North Shore are Malama Market, and then you have Foodland, which is all the way up in Pupukea. And we'll hit that up in a second. But going back to Haleiwa town, you've got to know about the marina. So if you're a boating enthusiast, this is where you're going to dock your boat, at the Haleiwa Boat Harbor. And just a heads up, this is also where you're going to, if you're a deep sea fishing enthusiast, this is where you're going to go. And also, of course, the marina where you're going to store your boat. Now, as you continue to cruise northeast, you've got a great restaurant, Haleiwa Joe's, on the left here. You're going to cross the bridge here. Got your cool surf spots. You've got your cool surf shops here. And I did want to point out one of our other favorite restaurants here. It's a place we like to go for the special occasions. Which is the Beach House in Haleiwa. We love this spot. It's a great place to go. Like I said, for special occasions. It's a bit pricey, right? So you want to go for special occasions. And they've got a nice little grassy yard there if you've got kids, keiki, to run around in a safe spot off the Kim Highway. But then you've got the beautiful views of the ocean as you dine. It's a beautiful spot. Okay, so then as you continue to travel up north from Haleiwa Beach Park, you have Puana Point, then Papailoa Beach, then Laniakea Beach, followed up by Kawailoa with Chun's Reef. So then the next neighborhood up is Waimea. And Waimea Bay is one of the most famous beaches on Oahu, and it's not just a great surfing beach, but also windsurfing, parasailing. And this is probably one of the most crowded beaches, at least it's one of the hardest places to find a parking spot. So you do want to get there early. And you don't have a lot of homes for sale in this area. I think there was only 1 or 2 homes that were available on the market in the past year and a half. There's just not a whole lot of residential spots. There's just not a whole lot of single family homes for sale right here in this area. But most of the homes will be in the neighborhoods that we covered. And then of course you've got Pupukea coming up here. And Pupukea is also home to the other grocery store on the North Shore, Foodland. And it's also home to Sharks Cove. And that's not just a famous spot for tourists, but all the locals go here as well and hang out. It's got one of the best snorkeling spots on the island. So here's the intersection when you travel into when you get into Pupukea. Oh, where'd it go? Street view. And to the right you have Foodland, the grocery store. So here's Pupukea Road, and when you take Pupukea Road all the way up, you've got some of the nicest estates in Hawaii. And what's cool about this neighborhood here, all the lots are super large. They're an acre plus. It's really old money. There's not like new construction, but sometimes there are lots available. But you'll have these beautiful country estates, and homes here can sell anywhere from a couple million upwards of. The highest priced home on the market was like 35 million. So it's a stunning area, and again, we go into a lot of detail in the neighborhood in the pros and cons video of Haleiwa, as well as our vlog tour. So definitely check out that, check out our vlog tour and the pros and cons video. We're gonna have links to that below by the comment section. But this is Sharks Cove here. Getting very busy on the weekends and holidays. In the summertime, it's low tide, and in the wintertime, it's high tide. And you're gonna get your best snorkeling in the wintertime. However, also in the wintertime, the waves are the largest on the North Shore. And we're talking 20 feet, 30-foot waves, sometimes as high as 40 feet waves. And that's a huge draw as well during the wintertime. Oftentimes people just come sightsee just to look at the amazing waves. And again, you've got the 7 Mile Miracle here of our world famous beaches, which includes the rock piles, off the wall, the back door, the Bonsai Pipeline, Nehukai Sandbar, and Rocky Point. So I hope you found this overview helpful. I know it's brief, but if you do want more details, definitely check out our pros and cons of Haleiwa, as well as our Haleiwa vlog tour. And if there's anything that we haven't covered here that you have questions about, of course, feel free to give me a call or shoot me a text or email me. So that's it for our map tour today. I hope it was informative. And if you have any questions or comments on something that we didn't cover, please leave us a message, type up something in our comments section. We do check them and answer your questions. And if you found this video to be helpful, feel free to subscribe to our channel and go ahead and tap that like button and tap the bell for notifications. That way you can be first to know when we roll out a new video, and that'll help you keep a great pulse on the real estate market here in Hawaii. Also, I want to remind you, being a real estate agent here, you actually get me and not a whole team. So if you're looking to buy or invest in Hawaii real estate, of course, feel free to shoot me a text, give me a call, go ahead and email me. We can set up a Calendly link. At Home Sweet Home Hawaii, we're here to make your move as smooth and stress-free as possible. Thanks for watching. Until next time, we'll catch you on the next video. Aloha.